With this technique, you might find that you'll be able to score some of those kills that you might not have if you weren't using the technique. So, I attack, I run towards him, I decide she's steam bathing, and I just use my Song of the Sea. It wasn't instant because I wasn't really thinking about that very well, but I did pick it up. And again, right there, I attack, and I move, I attack and I move, and that last attack actually allows me to get that kill on that, so that technique does work. I'll just resume this and I'll continue forward. Really, I just am gonna go through this really fast because it's just me getting creeps right now, so it's kind of boring. Let's see what else is there. Sorry about that. That's kind of annoying. I know. I'll stop that. So after I got that kill, it was enough gold to allow me to get my bottle. And whenever you're middle, generally your hero is a hero that needs a bottle. And when you're middle and you are a hero that needs a bottle, your first item to rush is usually a bottle. The reason why you don't get a bottle first is because a bottle doesn't offer very much regen as opposed to maybe like 6 runes of the Blight, and it doesn't offer too much mana regen, and generally you'll be harassed out of lane before you can use all that mana anyways because you'll be at lack of HP. It also doesn't offer any last hitting, and it doesn't offer any stats. The reason why I chose my items, Mark of the Novice and Minor Totems, is because with the Mark of the Novice, it allows me to boost my base damage, which allows me to get those creep kills a little bit easier. If I might have been facing someone that was like a ranged carry, like Flint Beastwood, my attack damage would be a little bit higher, and that would help me score some kills a little bit easier. While it might not get me all the kills, it would make it definitely easier. The reason why I pick up a Minor Totem is because a Minor Totem is by far the most cost-effective item in the game for its stats. A Minor Totem gives you basically 2 stats that you really want: strength and intelligence. I was going to say intellect, but intelligence. And the intelligence will help me with my base damage again, and also with my mana pool. And the strength will give me that small amount of survivability. Also, picking up 2 Minor Totems is pretty cheap, and you can turn that into a power supply later. However, I'm a pretty big noob, and I don't really ever go for a power supply. I probably should, but I know better to, but I don't. But with these 2 Minor Totems, you can really turn those into items that you can get later on. So it's kind of like a double whammy again, and it works out pretty well. So now that I have my kill, I now bring out my bottle, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm really going to start rune whoring. When it comes to middle, rune whoring not only wins you middle lane if you were losing it, or if it'll just give you a bigger advantage if you were winning it to start with, but it'll also give you map control. Controlling the runes makes your team sure, and you sure, that middle doesn't have an advantage where he can make a huge comeback and gank one of the side lanes with like a double damage or a haste, and that would really hurt you. Or if he had a regeneration, shot you a bunch of times, harassed you out of lane, then used his regeneration, and he'd be perfect, and that would set you back. So with this, you're really not only winning your lane, but you're controlling the map a lot better. Moving on, the next item after your bottle is generally boots, or it should always be boots, because boots allow you to get to places faster. And middle, most heroes generally want to be covering the map a lot, controlling the map a lot with the runes, and ganking a lot. And I do a pretty good job at this as Bubbles, but with other heroes I'm pretty bad, and I only do it well with Bubbles because that is his really main role. So I'll continue here, and I'll just try and fast forward this a little. Alright, so right here I hit level 4, and I have level 2 Song of the Sea and level 2 Shell Surf. I'm pretty sure I saw this from Era, Katie Era, you guys probably know him, do this build, and generally for me, I don't actually pick up level 2 Song of the Sea. I put 1 in to take cover, but for him, he gets Song of the Sea because at level 1, Song of the Sea only gives a 0.1 second silence, and at level 2, it gives a 1 second silence, so that's a dramatic improvement. So while 1 second silence isn't a lot, 1 second silence allows you to get in 1 extra auto attack, while 0.1 second silence doesn't stop anything. except for maybe a channel. The people can just run away and then turn around and nuke you, and that doesn't help. But 1 second silence will help you out a lot because that's a couple auto attacks. The reason I also don't like this build is because it offers a lot less survivability, and as a Bubbles player, I play very balls to the walls, so it doesn't really help me out, and I often tower dive, and I live with like 50 HP, and I take cover the last tower attack to live, and it also helps out with stuns, and I just feel that it's a much more versatile build. However, I don't find it as effective as ganking. And as Bubbles, your main goal is to gank early and control the game early, and putting 1 point into shell or take cover really kind of hinders that. But I decided to switch up this build. I've been going back and forth between each one. If I see like there's a rampage on the other team, I'll probably take cover. But if I feel pretty good about the game and I really want to go for that damage build, I'll put a point into Song of the Sea and skip take cover. So I'll continue. I'm just going to continue a little bit here, and yeah, I almost did get my monkey killed, but I was able to micro it back in time, and don't get your monkey killed, by the way. So I'm just going to skip forward a little bit until I actually get to the point where someone comes. So in this, Flux has actually decided to go and take over Magnus's role, and Magnus has switched to bot lane. I'm not really sure why they haven't sent like a Pharaoh middle, because he's pretty good at middle. He's actually a very decent middle. Why I haven't sent Pharaoh middle to start with, but as you can see, Magnus is now bottom. So they switched lanes. Also, you'll notice that after I got my bottle, I immediately went to one of the rune spots to try and get a rune. Just because it's not 2 minutes, 4 minutes, or every 2-minute interval that the rune spawns, if I'm paying attention enough and I know that that Magnus has always been in lane, and I see that that has happened, even though it's 3 minutes and it's most likely that the rune's not there, I still go for it to check because I know that he hasn't gotten that rune. And it's always worth checking, as well as being on top of those runes again with that bottle. Sorry if it's a little redundant. Oh, I'm still going in like 12,000 times speed. So I'll continue here, auto-attacking and denying. And I go with some early denies. Oh wait, no, actually I don't. I just deny it. And then I get the last hit here. No, I don't, because I'm bad. But whatever. So right now I'm just really kind of abusing my maximum range, and he misses his first move. I mean, like, this isn't a very high tier game, obviously, you can tell, but that's alright. This is just for video purposes and showing demonstration of techniques and talking about them. So, right here, just doing my daily denying and auto-attacking, and I'm sorry this isn't very interesting. I don't really have any commentary to talk about. Hopefully you're not getting annoyed too much of my voice. So right there, I go for a harass because I think I was trying to get the sapling, but the sapling moved and I missed, and that's kind of bad. But it's alright because I also have mana to spare, and doing those early harasses really hurts him. I also think I just hit level 5, which is another reason why I chose to, because at Shell Surf level 3, I get in some pretty decent damage harassing, and again, controlling the lane early is your main goal. Especially as a nuker like me, I want to set myself up for ganks, and by doing this, I make him stay back a lot more, and it just helps me, and notice how he instantly gets back a lot further. Actually, talking about setting myself up for a gank reminded me that when it comes to ganking and setting yourself up for a gank, generally it's a great idea to get a person low enough to the point where you can burst that person down, but make them feel safe enough for them to stay in the lane. So right here, I'm going to be doing this strategy. So instead of constantly like shooting him with a bunch of shell surfs and it might not get the kill, I just instead of making him go back to base, I kind of make him feel a little bit safer, and I leave him at a HP where it's possible to kill him, but he feels a little bit too safe or too unproductive if he ran back to base right now. So let's continue, and I'm just gonna lock myself on this here. So again, I'm abusing the, whoops, sorry about that. We'll go back. So right here, again, I'm abusing the attack, move, attack, move, attack, move, attack, move. And he pulls me in, hits me with his first move, and I instantly shell surf. And when it comes to judging whether you can win a situation or not, it will come down to experience. And obviously you're going to have a lot of bad experiences before you get a good experience, but being able to judge this, I knew that I would be able to kill him. So instead of instantly running away with that shell surf, I decided to actually fight him. And let's say I wouldn't be able to kill him. A good technique to use is that you stand next to the person and then you shell surf away, so that the AoE splash from the shell surf, the initial like where it shot out from where you are, will hit them, as well as setting your shell surf away so that you can easily escape and I guess teleport to where your shell was. But in this case, I knew I was going to be able to beat him, so I decided to fight. And I was able to score my kill pretty easily, so that was nice. And it was pretty close. I'm probably going to say it's like more luck than anything. Alright, so you'll notice that I used my invisibility, but then I also decided to drink from it anyways. The reason behind this is because if I use my invisibility and then I drink from it, I'm stuck at a really low HP, and that's not going to be optimal for ganking because I won't have enough mana or HP to gank, and it's also not going to make me be able to farm very well because I'm just going to be standing there with invisibility because I don't want it to let go away, and I'm going to be missing a lot of last hits. So instead of wasting time, I decided to immediately just start drinking from it. So I'll continue. Alright, so now that I'm level 6, as Bubbles, it's pretty effective to actually gank at level 6 because of my ult, and generally when you're level 6 for any hero, you really want to start abusing this, especially when you have bottle and rune control, to go and just gank every lane that you can. You don't always have to necessarily gank the lane that your team is losing in, but you want to probably set that as a higher priority. In this, I'm not really setting priorities in this game because I'm not too scared, like, oh, there's this guy at this lane, and I know that he can do more farm than if I had ganked this guy in that lane. And in this, I'm not really too worried about this. In this game, I'm really looking out for people who are overextending more so that I can just get some easy kills and try and have my team win that lane a lot easier. So, I have a ward here, and I do get the rune, which is illusion, and I see that right here I ping that these guys are pretty far pushed up forward, and while he isn't at a low HP, I know that he's very far away and that it's going to take him a really long time to get back to his tower. So at this point, I'm already committed to going for him because I'm all the way down here anyways, so why not just go for the kill, and what better opportunity than this? But a better opportunity would be if they were lower HP, but that's alright. Plus, I see that my Plague Rider is here, and he has Contagion, which is going to do a shitload of damage to this guy, so I don't really have to worry about bursting down a Pharaoh too much, because I also have health. So at this point, this guy should be using his Contagion right now to do some early damage, and to set the cooldown on it, since it is a 9-second cooldown,